Been talking to Pakistan's Foreign Minister Bilawal Bhutto Zardari, who's here in Washington, about the terrorist threat to his country and about relations with Afghanistan and with India. Foreign Minister, Pakistani army commandos had to storm a counter-terrorism centre to take back control from the Pakistani Taliban. What does that say about the threat from the Pakistani Taliban?
I think it continues to demonstrate that Pakistan is fighting terrorism and extremism even to this day. While we've had historic achievements over the last 10 years and we really managed to break the back of this network and the ability for them to recruit people to conduct such attacks, unfortunately they were empowered. They were empowered after the fall of Kabul. One reason or the other, I don't have time to get into the details, but the fact of the matter is now we're seeing an uptick in terrorist activity. We will be continuing our anti-terrorism efforts, and we hope and expect from our Afghan neighbors that they will fully cooperate with us and be able to demonstrate their will and their capacity.
But isn't that the huge problem, the presence of the Taliban government in Afghanistan? Aren't they just encouraging the Pakistani Taliban and making life that much more difficult?
Pakistan's willing to cooperate and coordinate in any operation or any activity against them, but we do need to see results. Otherwise, not only between our two countries, but this is a general sticking point that is an issue of concern for the entire international community. No one wants that Afghanistan becomes a sort of a springboard for international terrorism.
Well, you're here in the United States, you're having meetings with US officials. The US didn't help the situation, did it, with that chaotic withdrawal from Afghanistan? Has that made it more dangerous for Pakistan and emboldened the Taliban?
Look, don't get me into trouble. All I'm willing to say is that, look, whatever's happened in the past has happened in the past. We have to work on the future and the reality that we're facing now. This is an opportunity for the regime in Kabul to demonstrate that they're not the world fears, and that they're serious to implementing the promises that they made not only to the international community but and to their own people. They know that it is in their own interest, in their own country's interest, that terrorism that has raged across our region and the world be brought under control. That would mean peace and prosperity for their people.
Speaking of neighbours, you've caused something of a diplomatic row with India. India's foreign minister said that Pakistan was an epicenter for terrorism, and you responded by calling India's prime minister the butcher of Gujarat. Do you regret saying that?
Look, no, I certainly do not.
Why not?
Because first of all, the Indian Hindutva RSS-inspired BJP government has gotten all too comfortable of saying the word terrorism and Muslim in the same sentence and feeding off international Islamophobia to target my country. I believe the world has changed since then.
Doesn't the attack in Banu just underline that Pakistan has a problem with terrorism? I think that it demonstrates that Pakistan is the epicenter for the victims of terrorism. And I personally take it as a personal insult that my country, they would try to associate with someone who was never a Pakistani, who's Osama bin Laden, rather than the brave Pakistanis like my mother and thousands of other people who risked their lives, who sacrificed their lives to fight and combat this menace. Does India accept that they have a problem of extremism within India? But don't you now have very bad relations with India? Well, I always had bad relations. India would like them to improve. I can't change what happened in the past. I don't think that stating a historical fact, as reported by the BBC, the international community, repeating the words butcher of Gujarat is not my nomenclature for Mr. Modi. That is what the Muslims of Gujarat call them as a result of the Gujarat riots. What about the status of India's Muslims after your remarks? Do you worry that their position is more perilous?
No, absolutely not. I think their position is empowered. I think that Muslims of India have had someone raise a voice for them that has not been raised for a very long time.
Bilawal Bhutto Zardari, Foreign Minister of Pakistan, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.